We're back with Weeksy and Cheryl. And guys, Samuel Montembeault starts tonight for the Habs, but rookie sensation Jakub Dobes, she's really pushing for playing time. 5 games, 5 wins, and a .941 save percentage. Weeksy, is it time the Habs considered making Dobes the #1 goalie?
Not just yet. However, let me just say this. I like the way Montembeault's playing. We had a good chat with him last week. He's in the right frame of mind. He'll be representing Canada at the Four Nations face-off, of course, upcoming. I think his game is dialed in right now, and Dobes is making a name for himself. What he's done is he's pushing my former teammate, the great Marty St. Louis, into giving him more starts. And that's all you can control as a young player. So Dobes is doing everything he can. He's impressed. He's looked calm. He's looked composed. He has not looked overwhelmed at all at the National Hockey League level. He's been sizzling. So he's pushing for more minutes. But we can't hand him that famed torch in Montreal just yet.
Yeah, I'd agree with you, Weeksy. I mean, I'm going to defer to the goaltender here. But when you look at, his body of work in those 5 games, you would think, oh, he's going to get some sheltered starts. Well, listen, look at the body of work. Florida, Colorado, Washington, Dallas, the Rangers. So this guy has had to make some critical saves at the right time and go toe-to-toe with some top players, some top shooters in the league, and he's done the job, in particular against the Rangers. Listen, doesn't start off that great, but finds a way, and that takes mental fortitude. You can likely speak to it more than anyone to be able to come back, push back, fight off different deficits within a game, and then get the win. And because they're fighting for that wild card spot right now, Marty St. Louis has some decisions to make because you got to run with the hot hand at the right time. I mean, they're push and play right now. My eyes are on the Detroit game, a division rival on Thursday. Very interested to see who gets the start in that one.
Oh, yes. Well, of course, both teams continue to battle for a playoff position. And whether it's Montembeault or Dobes, Cheryl, should the Habs get more respect as playoff contenders in the East?
Absolutely, they should. I mean, look what they've done since mid-December. If you look at all the underlying numbers, they've been one of the top teams in the NHL. And one of the biggest metrics is they're scoring goals. And they're scoring goals from up and down their lineup. And that's critical for a young lineup. I also look at, the last game against the Toronto Maple Leafs, right? They were winning by 3 goals. Then they get their butts handed to them, 7 straight. But they find a way the next game against the Rangers to win in overtime. So they're showing maturity within that group. And I think under Marty St. Louis, he is addressing specific players to ask for specific things. And most importantly, the best teams on paper don't always win. It's the confidence, it's the belief in this group. And what I'm looking at too is, listen, there's really not a ton of expectation, so you can play a little freer. So we're sort of seeing a stacked momentum within the lineup right now. I think you got to pay attention to this team.
They caught my attention for sure, indeed. You got that right. I just think the way their team is playing, the rhythm of the way in which they're playing offensively and defensively, there seems to be some cohesion there. They're not chasing games. And when you talk about maturation of young players, I don't see Cole Caulfield being a deficiency or liability on the defensive end. I don't see that from Suzuki either. I don't see it from any of their young players, including the sizzling electric Lane Hudson on the back end. They're playing within the frame of the game. They're playing an honest style of game, both defensively and offensively. I just think this team is showing a lot of maturity. And you all will know there's something special about Montreal anytime, but especially in the springtime as we approach the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I think this team is making a run. And these are the type of meaningful games you want, not only for your team as a whole, but specifically for the younger players in their group. As a part of their development, they have to play the meaningful games down the stretch. And I think the Montreal Canadiens are poised to do that.
Yeah, the time is right for all of them to be buying in right now. And the Habs have only 1 regulation loss in their last 8 games. That was to the rival Maple Leafs, as Cheryl mentioned, on Saturday night. But they did bounce right back with that thrilling win Sunday over the Rangers. Tonight's game is right here on TSN. Puck drop at 7 Eastern.